Not as a player, no. Give me that jet seed every time if I'm playing. But as a spectator, I tend to side with chat. I like to see us, AGA 1, pedestal required. Let's see how trolly we can make this.
Nice. All right, similar opener so far. 10 seconds in.
Ooh, an early map check. So only the number 2 crystal over in Eastern, and then the worthless pendants in Tower of Hera and Desert. So, interesting here.
Yeah, I definitely like seeing more crystals in the light world than pendants.
So do I, but the Desert has some interesting logic behind it. So seeing that there raises an eyebrow. I mean, we may not end up seeing a pedestal just because it has so many requirements on it.
Yeah, for sure. Looks like we're seeing a very similar opener continuing from both players. Blue rupees from the Hoarder. It's not bad to stock up a little bit. Gazelle is not checking the Lumberjack, though.
And that's a mistake, because Walkingeye sees there the hook shot on the Lumberjack ledge, so we know this is going to be an AGA required seed, looks like.
Yeah, that's definitely a good thing to know early on. Most players still do check it without waiting too long. As the hook shot, that might be an item you can go without for a long time, depending on what the other items are, so you may not be forced to check it for a while.
Yeah, we can see it buried in some places, so that's bad news for Gesellschaft not checking that. Walkingeye will definitely have that knowledge going through, and that's why we check it, ladies and gentlemen, just in case.
Yeah, just in case. It is pretty rare that it is going to be required. Some players do like to put it off until they have items that speed up the overworld travel a little bit, just because it's so far out of the way, but given how close they both were to it, I'm a little surprised that it was skipped.
That might come down to just another risk that you think if you're 2 and 3 in elimination, just the little risks like that to change it.
Yeah. There's another risk going into a room that requires bombs without having bombs. Hoping to find some in one of the first 4 chests. There are a lot of bomb chests available. It's not a terrible decision, and there's bombs, so that's going to work out.
Yep, made the right call there. Lucky risk. Also found an early bottle, so we'll be able to check Sick Kid while we're still here in Kakariko.
Yeah, Kakariko Town is a very early play in almost every CGC from almost every player, but there are a few locations that do have some prerequisites. The Sick Kid being one, obviously rupees for the merchant, and boots for the library. You can unlock the flute. So I don't really fault players who do like to check out a few other locations early if it's possible. Of course, it's not always possible, but the early Hyrule Castle play, if you get a weapon or bombs early, trying to go to Lake Hylia, things like that, I don't mind those plays at all.
Ooh, an early bombos for Gesellschaft, also picking up the Keen of Brian earlier, so getting some really interesting items in Kakariko. Nothing that really points us into a direction, but fun things to have and could prove useful. But there's a requirement. I mean, hammer.
Oh, yeah, and that is an ammo-less damage source, so they can pretty much kill anything in the game now. Oh man, Gazelle did the alternate chicken clip where he threw the chicken through the south wall. I showed her that. I was hoping it would catch on.
Your legacy lives on, sir.
Yeah, in the form of swag.
There's no better way to have your legacy live on than in the form of swag, I say. So Sick Kid not giving us a whole heck of a lot. Gesellschaft, meanwhile, making the routing, will probably stop and purchase some bombs, given her rupee count and the need to get them for that South Hylia area.
Yeah. Not too big a detour. from where she happened to be. They ended up clearing out town sort of in the opposite order, Walkingeye south to north and Gesell north to south.
And that made sense since Walkingeye farmed up those bombs in the bombable hut down in South Kakariko. And
oh wow,
that
was the power gloves.
Okay, so boots required seed as well.
Oh yeah, you know I like seeing that because that way I know I'm at least going to get boots at some point during the run. I know it's definitely not going to be a completely bootless seed. Maybe that's just the silver lining.
Silver lining, power mitts are silver. Ha ha.
Well, I guess.
I see what you did there. Oh, I guess Lifer points out boots were required when Aga Hookshot was found. I guess technically true as well.
True. That's very true. All right, checking 2 different locations here. Ooh, the ice rod. We don't know if that's required just yet. It's a fair chance that it will be.
It's nice to find that ice rod early too, just so you know you're not going to have to troll and find it in some buried location.
Yeah, for sure. So Walkingeye, he may choose to clear out all of Hyrule Castle, or at least the downstairs segment.
And Uncle leaves you his silver arrow, so he was equipped to deal with Ganon, just didn't have the right equipment otherwise.
Yeah. Going into the Moldorm Cave. Moldorms are almost completely random. They don't react to you almost at all or have any intelligence, and yet somehow they prove to be one of the most difficult enemies to deal with. Sometimes. And sometimes they're pretty, this time proven to be difficult.
4 hearts with that hammer and that funky hitbox that the hammer has. Yeah, it's a little bit difficult there.
Yeah. The hammer is a very powerful weapon, equal to the level 3 sword in damage, but it does have kind of an awkward hitbox. Also, the timing on it is a little strange.
An interesting Walkingeye making his way through escape and doing so without having visited down south to get the hammer, so having to use some swag Kana Burna strats to get through here.
Yeah, lucky he had that green potion. He would have had the opportunity to farm up magic somewhere else, but it would have been quite a slow process to do it. But with that, he'll have enough to get all the way through this dungeon. Looks like Gesell decided not to go back to the Moldorm Cave. Going to get her vengeance later, instead following up Walkingeye into Hyrule Castle. Shouldn't need to use the Kana Burna anymore.
Nope, we'll be able to set up using pot strats at this point in time.
It's at least an option. You could choose to use 1 pot and the Kana Burna to hit him 4 times. All right, nice bomb strats from Gesell. I know she's practiced some very specific bomb strats here, even though she has the hammer. I think she just wants to show those off.
She's showing off for the fans, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
She also has the ice rod, which Walkingeye didn't have, so she can use the officially endorsed ice rod strategy to kill the ball and chain guard, where you freeze the green guard and then throw him at the other guy.
I think that's an appropriate use right there. Man, I am just amazed at Gesell's bomb usage here. She is very well practiced here.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like to see that. Most people just sort of improvise, and some people improvise very competently, but I do like to see well-practiced strats as well. Walkingeye is going to get that ice rod, and he'll probably try to make his way over to the Lake Hylia cave. So we'll get to see what's in there. You see Gazelle go the same way.
We gotta finish off the mini Moldorm cave here.
Yeah. She does have a lot of options here. Most people like to start with bombs. With the hammer, Canterburna Ice Rod kills these guys. Oh wow, there's over 20 bombs though. Yeah, I wouldn't have no shame about just just rapid firing bombs.
I was gonna say Gazelle isn't playing Zelda; she's playing Bomberman and the Moon Pearl.
Yeah, Moon Pearl and Hammer, good things to have early. Don't open up too much on their own, but they are just a few pieces of a much larger combination, much better combination.
Yep. So we are going to be looking for the lift, either the lift upgrade or boots at some point in time, because we know where one lift upgrade is. It's just a matter of time before we have full Dark World access.
Yeah, for sure. I imagine, though, that if Walkingeye gets access to Aghanim early, he'll probably make that play early as well, with the Moon Pearl in hand.
Moon Pearl and Hammer, absolutely. We see Walkingeye heading over to Sahasrala's hut in the eastern area, so we'll see what we have here.
Nothing in the Ice Rod Cave, but just some rupees. Oh, wow. Well, there's the first glove, and that's going to be Dark World access.
That's important. So we know that the boots can't be hidden behind anything that requires Titansmith.
Yeah. Which doesn't really narrow it down too much. But if they are going to be doing any sequence breaking, well, I don't think there are any minor glitch sequence breaks that they'll just skip the Titan myths, are there?
No, not really. So I think, let's see, it can't be in King's Tomb. It can't be anywhere in Turtle Rock or Ice Palace or Misery Mire or the Mire area.
Yeah.
So that's quite a bit of the map that's already narrowed off.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Misery Mire is going to be the green pendant. Sahasrala gives that hint. And Walkingeye is doing Eastern Palace without the lamp or the bow. He'll at least be able to check all the chests if he can get through the dark rooms comfortably, but not quite finish the dungeon. And Gazelle is not opting to do the same.
So our first route divergence here, we'll see if it pays off for Walkingeye. And we'll see where Gazelle ends up heading at this point.
I have a feeling it's going to be the Dark World. Going for that 50-50 bomb rock right outside of Link's house.
Yep, and then we're going to see a under 15-minute hype cave here by Gesellschaft. So, ladies and gentlemen in chat, let's go ahead and get our guesses in right away. Is it going to be a true hype cave, or is it going to be a dud cave?
I'm excited to see the predictions. Looks like we're seeing Crystals 5 and 6 at Skull Woods and Turtle Rock. And of course, we knew the green pendant was at Misery Mire already.
We're getting our votes in. It's all over the map, just like how this tournament has been for Hype Cave, so we'll see.
A little cash. Well, Not the hypest of caves.
No, I think that we can safely call that a dud cave.
Yeah. All right, at this intersection, she's going left, so she'll be able to check out the boy that turns into a tree in the Haunted Grove, the digging game. Unless one of those items is the mirror or something like that. No other locations here will become opened up. Walkingeye's doing his dark rooms. Can't really say much about what's happening now, except that he's trying to find a key. Oh no, he found the key. Okay.
Yep, found the key. He's just working his way through and doing so and getting through there pretty quickly, all things considered.
Yeah. Don't think he took any damage. Maybe half a heart. Or maybe he was already missing half a heart. That'll be the last location that he can check. The fact that he checked that means that there must have been at least one item still remaining. So we're going to assume that Armos has an item. As well as a crystal, though, means they're going to be going back there anyway.
Yeah, I don't mind the double dip into Eastern. It seems to be the most often double dip, even if it's not required. We'll see Gazelle try the digging game, and we'll see what comes up.
Really wonky dig pattern here. Still able to get enough in time.
Walkingeye checking the back end of Escape. This is another location that did open up with that power glove, so we'll see if it gives him what he needs. Flute!
Very nice. So what the flute's going to open up for him now is just Death Mountain without sequence breaking. With the gloves alone, he would have been able to go up to Dark Mountain, albeit through a dark room. And of course, it lets you travel a lot faster, and that's good by itself. Going through these dark rooms and Escape, these can be kind of tough just because the chest doesn't really have anything around it that you can use as a point of reference. So you kind of have to track it down in the middle of nowhere. But the enemies in here do almost no damage, so you have a lot of time without much risk to check it.
Meanwhile, we see Gazelle opting not to do the dark room and leaving, so probably get her swag duck and head up the mountain.
Walkingeye doesn't have an extra key. If you got the key from the rat, then that means this last chest has to be a key, a small key, right?
I think so.
Maybe he skipped the rat key because he already had one.
And Gazelle is activating her swag duck, so all rise for the swag duck national anthem, or take a knee if you so desire.
Yeah, you can choose. Oh, you know what? Death Futon corrected me. I actually did forget about one locked door on the way back. There's actually two, so yeah, I was mistaken there on my deduction. Well, with the bird active now, we're going to see the Village of the Outcasts from Gazelle and possibly from Walkingeye as well shortly after.
I mean, there's a lot of items that you can get in the Village of Outcasts by going in this route. Really interesting routing, not going up. I mean, I guess not doing Death Mountain makes sense right now.
Yeah.
There's more items that are available in the Village of Outcasts than you can possibly get right at the moment.
Yeah, there's ways that Death Mountain could be done more efficiently with more items. Although it does not take long to get back up there if you do have to go more than once. Oh, it looks like it's actually going to be Skullwoods first. A lot of people like to do this because Skullwoods tends to prove to be quite lucrative.
As the meme says, if it's version 26, do Skullwoods.
That doesn't sound like a meme, that just sounds like good advice.
That's all good advice is. It's just memes for our generation.
Yeah, in a way, I guess so. Walkingeye doing the same. They probably just don't want to have to cut that very long horizontal row of bushes without the boots. That's probably the only reason they're coming here first. Nice to see the trap room once in a while. One of the 3 keys in that section of the dungeon has to be, or I'm sorry, one of the 3 chests has to be a key, but that one is guaranteed to always be a small key. So if you don't get one in the first 2, you do have to go all the way back down through that room, which has no other purpose. Zell doing a fancy bomb jump. Not going quite as planned.
Nope,
She'll
not
use
quite.
this door probably so that she can death warp right back to it to get some hearts back. Yeah. Oh, and she had a fairy. All right, another try.
Yeah, she's going to
Walkingeye is
try
gonna
that side.
line it up. Well, with 23 bombs. Oh, there's the first sword. Very nice. Yeah, Walkingeye took his time to line it up, but he was interfered by the the Bari there. Oh, and he needs to be careful now. Not to get killed by the Moldorm. I think he'll be okay. Playing it very safe, though. Moldorm won't die, though.
Very safe.
All right. Got his sword.
That sword's definitely a high-value target at this point in time. I mean, the hammer's nice, but sword.
Yeah, the sword is just a lot easier to use. And they may go into Thieves' Town where the boss fight. The boss blind the thief takes the same amount of damage from any weapon that hurts him. So the fighter sword is not inferior in any way to the hammer in that regard. And it is a lot easier to use. With the Cane and Burn It too, if they decide to go there, that'll make that fight a lot more comfortable.
Yep, I know a lot of people use the fighter sword for those first 2, and it lags the game a little bit, but the safety you get from Burna for that last phase just helps a ton.
Walkingeye is going to gather a little intel, see what's up on the bumper cave ledge. It's a hard container. He would be able to get that if he had the cape, but I have a feeling he would opt not to get that. Not quite important enough for the amount of time it takes. Good information, though. And then making his way back to the village of the outcasts. Thieves' Town is a pretty lucrative dungeon itself, having up to 4 items in it.
Yeah, it's not as key heavy, and it's relatively quick to do. I know a lot of people who end up preferring to start with Thieves' Town in terms of the first dungeon you end up doing. Not a lot to unlock it, and pretty quick to get through. Plus, Fighter Sword gives the same damage for the boss. Makes it a pretty easy call.
Yeah. In vanilla game speedruns, I actually really like the Thieves' Town segment. It's probably my most comfortable dungeon. So I definitely like doing this early in randomizers as well, just because I have a lot of confidence here.
So we see 2 of the 4 items already from Gazelle. We see 50 rupees and also Quake. So 2 more items left here.
Yeah, 2 out of the 3 medallions have been located now. They're going to need either 1 or 2. We don't know if Misery Mire is going to be required to be entered just yet.
Also, it feels like we've got to find the boots at some point here soon.
Yeah, there's not too many more places it could be, or another item that opens up other locations. Because right now they could check very little of Death Mountain, and we know what's going to open up more on Death Mountain. One item is the hookshot, and we know that's locked behind the boots. They could find the mirror, potentially. With that, several more locations up there would open up.
Now, it's interesting because Gazelle has a bit of, I would say, advantage right now in terms of their Walkingeye following in her footsteps. But keep in mind, Walkingeye also knows that the hookshot is on that ledge, so it may take some time before Gazelle makes that realization and checks that. So Walkingeye, while it looks like he's behind right now, has a knowledge advantage here.
Yeah. Yeah, seems to value intel. Also checking the bumper cave very early. He also checked his map pretty much as soon as he could at the beginning of the game. So definitely a player who likes to know things about the state of the game. And down to 2 hearts is a little bit scary in this dungeon because there are several enemies that do 2 full hearts of damage.
It can be a little intimidating, but down here in the prison section, there's quite a few hearts underneath some pots, so
Yeah.
Certainly confident in Gazelle being able to get through there.
Right. Worst case scenario, she can panic Berna. There's also a bunny beam under one of these pots. If you have powder, you can heal up with the fairy there. Oh, and finding the last medallion.
So Thieves Town proving that all the medallions are here.
Oh, yeah.
And they're not worried about what's up at T-Rock anymore because it just doesn't matter. You have it.
That's right. Looks like the last item is going to be at blind.
Four heart blind. Well, maybe 5 heart because there's one more upgrade, but it's going to be a little bit dangerous here.
Yeah. I mean, if she plays it absolutely safe, she has a green potion in the Cane of Berna. But I imagine we'll see her at least start out with a traditional strategy. Blind is, of course, a scripted fight. There's no randomization to his behavior at all. If you execute it the same every time, it should play out the same. If you do happen to get off script, there's a few things you can interpret, like the direction that the head flies off of the body is the direction that the body is going to move the next time it stands up. And that can help you a little bit with your positioning in between phases. Looks like this is going to be sword only. Wow, very close, because again, parts of blind do 2 full hearts of damage, so a small misstep there could be a death, but 300 rupees, that's pretty nice. They are pretty low on cash right now.
Yeah, that'll be nice Zora money if we ever headed up that direction.
Yeah, a little seed money. I think it's still counting up. The counter stopped during the cutscene. I was pretty sure it would have put the total over 500 though. Having already done the digging game, which costs like 80 rupees. Pretty much all the major expenses are covered. Except maybe Kiki.
Yeah, Kiki's about the only other thing I can think of, and Gazelle is thinking right now. Wonders what's going on.
Having some indecision. Starting at the sanctuary. Just to fly away. Yeah, this will be our first check of Death Mountain. Meanwhile, Walkingeye is challenging Blind the Thief. A lot of hearts going into the last phase. Again, he also has the Cane of Berna. He already used his green potion, though. I don't know if they may have actually picked up a second green potion.
Interesting that between these runners we found 3 bottles already and only 1 sword upgrade, 1 shield, and no armor.
Yeah. Yeah, that old man, sorry to answer a question in chat. Yeah, he's always in that cave whether you rescue him or not. But you don't get it as a starting location until you rescued him.
And Gazelle making the gamble that Spike Cave is going to have something of value here.
Oh,
interesting. Wow. She's got the items, might as well.
Yeah, and I mean, there's only a couple other locations that you check on the mountain. So this just sort of, really just one without sequence breaking. Just inside of Spectacle Rock. Could also check the old man. Oh, well. Possibly useful. Well, I mean, it is useful, but possibly important.
Magic Bet having something that would be pretty trolly to bury it up there, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah.
And we see Gazelle heading right there immediately.
Yeah, kind of rare to do this. To check this location by itself. More commonly, you're going to want to link it with other locations in the Dark World in this area. But that's not an option yet. Oh wow!
Oh, boots.
That's an important item. Not just a good item. In this case, it's absolutely necessary. So yeah, I imagine she's gonna fly out of here and pick up those Titan mitts. Well, okay. So check another location first, just to prove me wrong.
Yeah, gonna check Bonk Rocks up here. She may end up routing now that she has the boots. Go up here and check Lumberjack as well. I certainly hope she does.
Yeah, that's what a lot of players will say they wait for, is boots before they check it. Oh, nice. A fetch quest reward is opening up a fetch quest item.
So Spike Cave led to powder, led to boots, led to mushrooms. We're getting close to some pretty trolly ideas that I've seen chat come up with up to this point in time.
Oh yeah. So she's gonna get that intel. Doesn't really change what she's gonna do now, though. Walkingeye's gonna check. Oh, he's gonna be the first person to swim. You do see fake flippers pretty early. This is the first swimming we're seeing, isn't it?
Yeah, this is kind of our first fake flippers going to go over there, and with Moon Pearl, we'll be able to check the Waterfall Ferry. Now, it is a sequence break technically, but one worth taking at this point.
Yeah, this is a pretty obscure glitch here. When it was first found, it was so weird. If you just swim in here and then walk out, you're suddenly walking. He actually lost the walking glitch there because he got a full heart container from that heart piece. That turns it off. He has to activate it again. But yeah, it was really strange. It took us a while to track down the exact prerequisite, which ends up being the Moon Pearl.
And Gazelle picking up power Titan's mitts.
Yeah, Walkingeye's thrown a bottle into this fairy fountain. In the vanilla game, both fairy fountains will give you a green potion if you throw an empty bottle in. In Randomizer, however, it's randomized, and the two fairy fountains can be different. So this one gave him a B, which that's kind of fun, but not too useful.
Half Magic up on Zora's ledge in the meanwhile, so Walkingeye being able to head up there. Now, Zora itself isn't a sequence break because we can get up here as we currently are, right?
Yeah, with the power gloves. Yes, half magic. That's not something I would come all the way back for. Even if I was like going to catfish with the mirror, I probably wouldn't go back in for it. I don't know if anybody else would or wouldn't though. Gezelle's gonna need to save and quit with that dwarf. Without the mirror, that's the only way to get back to the light world.
Yep. Going to do the Peg Cave first, though. Getting all of these locations that the Titansmith opens up for her.
Yeah, doing this first just because she'll have to bring the frog back in the light world, and then getting back here in the dark world would take even more time. So she'll probably just save and quit out of here. Oh wow, that's pretty nice. Now knowing that Agno is required. Still need either the cape or an upgraded sword to get in there. That's going to be a comfort for sure. Collecting the lamp while the other guy is in a dark room. Just maybe some irony there.
That's just thumbing your nose at Walkingeye a little bit.
I'm pretty sure she could flute and fly with the dwarf here.
Yeah, for chat saying that Ag is open, we need either the second sword upgrade or the magic cape. We We
Yeah.
absolutely cannot get in there without either one of those. So as soon as Gazelle finds one of those, certainly we'll be able to do that, but a
Right.
little early right now.
There's a few ways in with what we call major glitches, but this is, of course, a no major glitches race. We are not doing ridiculous skips like that. I feel like there's not really a lot of great options remaining at this point, but there's definitely some more options.
Feels like there's a couple. With the lamp, they'll be able to non-sequence break getting the old man, although that really didn't get us a whole lot of anything. Walkingeye going to go over here and check the pyramid, which is totally in sequence. Also, Catfish will be. That's kind of unfortunate for Walkingeye that he hasn't done Spike Cave, but that is kind of an obscure area for the line to lead him towards, but
Yeah.
we'll see when he makes the call.
Yeah, I'd be inclined to put off Spike Cave for a long time. Really just because I kind of forget about it. But given the situation already being right next to it, it really was a very convenient time to do it.
And Gazelle looks like is going to go ahead and do our Aghanim run.
Oh, no, wait, maybe the Aghanim mistake. Or maybe just the last dark room and escape. Yeah, it's going to be just the last dark room.
Okay.
Yeah, and Walking Eye's checking out Palace of Darkness. There's a lot of locations in here, but without the bow, there's a chance that you may only be able to check a single one, depending on how the items lie. Walking Eye's being very careful. If you take any damage while the monkey is following you, he will run away. He's not a brave monkey. He's not scared of heights, though, it seems. Is the first chest gonna let him continue, or is he gonna stop and deaden his tracks?
No, we'll see. This is kind of a risky gamble here, and he gets a key.
Yeah, that'll let him continue. And Gazelle is going to the mire area. We know that she does have the medallion that she needs to get in, and everything else she would need to full clear the dungeon. It is the green pendant. Maybe it wouldn't be so bad to check it out if you're already in the area. Oh, and she was jumping in the water there without the flippers. I'm pretty sure to get invulnerability frames to dash through these sparks. I don't know if that was her intention, but that is what happens if you happen to jump in the water there. She might have jumped in by accident. I don't know.
It seems like a logical play, but then saving and quitting out. So, interesting note here, our pendant dungeons are Desert, Hera, and Mire, right?
Right.
So we actually have everything that we need to get into Desert right now. We have, the only thing we need to get into Hera is either the hookshot or the mirror. And the only thing we need to clear Mire at this point in time is the cane. So all the other items, flippers, bow, fire rod, mirror, could be on that pedestal.
Yeah, still a lot of possibilities for for the sadists in chat.
Count me among them.
Still a lot of other possibilities, but we'll keep track of those pedestal possibilities as well. It's going to be a small key in the big chest in Desert, otherwise the dungeon would not be clearable.
And she'll be heading over in that direction to collect the other two chests. But three chests over here, I guess.
Yes, she may opt to not kill Lamolas if she gets all the items before that point. If there's still an item remaining, that might be the only reason to kill him. Or she might be thinking about the pedestal possibility as well. Walkingeye's doing a few more dark rooms. There's several in Palace of Darkness. Though I don't think it's technically the darkest dungeon. I think the Escape might have the most total dark rooms. I never counted them up though. Yeah, no Lamolas today. Just gonna go to Agana. Have no idea what Walkingeye found there, if anything. The classic Agana bomb. Anticipating the disappointment in this chest.
I think that's fair.
Alright, the Dark Maze in Palace of Darkness is a tough one. Walkingeye is going to use the medallion to take out all of the Kadangos, it seems, early. And it might be Misery Mire time.
Wow, okay. It is the green pendant, so while there's only 2 items normally in Mire that she can... Oh god. Master Sword, no bow, or even Fighter Sword, no bow, Vitreous.
Yeah, she's going to take damage from this Dacto as soon as the cutscene ends. When you use Quake, it's the only thing that doesn't stop him. Bombos will kill him, and of course, Ether will freeze him. But when you use Quake, it does hurt you afterwards. I think Walkingeye had to use the medallion again. It's hard to really tell what exactly is happening in the dark rooms.
Well, we can just make up the commentary if you want, and oh, look at that amazing dodge!
Oh, I think he's walking around a corner now. His sword is out. That much I actually do know.
Look at that sparkle go!
Yeah. And he's going to Death Warp after he gets the big chest. Maybe. Well, no, probably not. I'll probably save him quick. We can wait and see what he does first, and then I'll pretend to make a prediction. Okay, he did save him quick. He had checked all the other locations, so there was no reason to Death Warp.
And for those of you just joining us, the big difference between Gesellschaft and Walkingeye right now is that Gazelle ended up making an early play into the Spike Cave, which ended up having the powder, which in Magic Bat led to the boots, which allowed her to get the Titansmith off the library ledge. So that Spike Cave gamble is paying off in spades for Gazelle.
Yeah, for sure. Hard to even call it a gamble. I mean, at the time she was right next to the location anyway. And Walkingeye up there now, he may do the same thing if he thinks of it. Good thing they had that green potion. Because they do require magic to check 2 locations in Misery Mire.
Walkingeye backing away, did not check the Spike Cave. That's going to be unfortunate. He's going over here to Desert.
Yeah, that is going to hurt him for a little while. As long as there's other locations to check, it by itself is pretty far out of the way.
Meanwhile, we see Gazelle getting ready to set up a bathroom break of a cutscene here.
Just for the record, we do not officially recommend taking bathroom breaks during this cutscene.
Absolutely not, no.
Oh, she's going to need to hurry up. A little bit of bad movement there. It's not too precise the way that she did it, but still a little bit of movement error can mess up the timing. Still fast enough, though.
And while Gazelle is going through this cutscene, let's give a shout out to both Gesellschaft and Walkingeye. If you like what you're seeing from these runners, give them a follow here on Twitch. It's a great way to support the runners and everything they do. Also, our wonderful tracker, TrekBot Tear, teaching me how to pronounce German names properly since 2017.
Nice.
And of course, our wonderful Fiesel restreaming.
Yeah, that's right. Fiesel with the infrastructure to make all of this possible.
Yeah, when I say Tear, I mean Sheila.
Oh, well, there's the Cape and Mire. That will give access to Aghanim.
You think that's going to be our next play from Gazelle, knowing that she can now get the hook shot, and that opens up quite a bit from there.
Yeah, I can't imagine there's anything else that would be more appealing right now.
Yeah, and I would absolutely back off of doing Fighter Sword Vitreous. It's like, nope, I have an excuse to leave. Yep, I'm leaving.
Yeah, even if she could get to it, yeah, I don't really see the reason to try. Starting at the Sanctuary, there are, well, okay. Oh, actually, never mind. The menu just, I guess, just flagged. Yeah, starting at the Mountain Cave is common because it's the quickest place from which you can exit to use the flute, and of course you can get the full heal from the guy while you're there.
And Gazelle not making a beeline for... Oh, she's going to check... I don't know what she's checking.
It's hard to say just yet. Oh, maybe just the bumper cave.
That's a fair guess. I mean, might as well check it.
Yeah, that's really the only thing up here in the Dark World. Walkingeye hasn't checked the Ice Rod Cave. We know it's, I think, a little bit of cash. Or maybe arrows. Oh, okay, it was cash. Nothing noteworthy. Okay, Walkingeye is on the mountain, but he's gonna flute from there. As I mentioned, it is the most common, or at least the best place, I think, by objective standards, from which to flute. Getting back to the Dark World here, he may be heading up to Catfish. I don't think he's going back into Palace of Darkness. You'll see a fancy super speed from Gazelle here.
I really like that super speed location. And we'll see if the mushroom leads to anything.
Not really. The swagnet, as it's sometimes referred.
I was going to say, if we have the swagnet, now we know we can do Aghanim.
That's true. I forgot about that. All right. Now it may finally be time for us to see Aghanim, everybody's favorite boss fight. What we refer to sometimes affectionately as a glorified cutscene. The dungeon itself, though, is actually very interesting. There's kind of a mini gauntlet near the end of really tough, quick rooms with a lot of RNG that adds a lot of variability. It makes it really hard to optimize.
Walkingeye heading up here to Catfish in the meanwhile. Kind of taking the long route.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there isn't really a fast route to Catfish for him right now. Or really ever, is there? It's one of the most out-of-the-way locations, pretty much in any state of the game.
Oh, and Gazelle is struggling with these ball and chain guys.
Yeah. Yeah, spins with the fighter sword unfortunately don't do any more damage than a slash, so it's still 8 full hits. It's working better than the hammer was, though. You can get double spins, so you do get 2 hits per spin whenever they're pinned up against a wall or object. I like to call this room the Ajneb face room. Well-known randomizer player Ajneb used to be kind of well-known for making the face the dash face. He used to do that a lot, so I started calling this the Ajneb face room because it, has
because of the face.
Yeah. All right, Walkingeye might be a little bit stumped now.
He just tilted a little bit, trying to think, where else did he possibly check?
Yeah, it may be the case that he's just forgotten. It'll come to him eventually. One of the first randomizers I ever did, I got totally stumped, and I couldn't think of any more locations. And after a long time, I remember the Spike Cave. And I went there, I was sure it was going to be there, and it was not there. And I did that about 3 more times before I finally found it. Just to show how much of a noob I was back then.
Well, we all got to start somewhere.
I guess.
I think it finally came to him.
Yeah, it appears that it has. Yeah, I mean, in his head, he might have just had all of Dark World, Death Mountain, combined as being blocked by the Titan Mitts. Sometimes you simplify things in your head like that, and it ends up leading to oversights.
That's why you don't run compression algorithms on your randomizer facts in your brain, ladies and gentlemen. It's just a bad idea.
I agree with that statement.
No, Walkingeye doesn't have a whole lot of magic. Will he be able to get through? Oh
Did
no!
he have a potion? Okay, yeah, he did. Is he gonna be able to turn it on? Okay.
Ooh!
All right. Look at that powder. That's probably making him shake his head now. The last location in the whole game is a fetch quest item.
Oh, it's not the only fetch quest that he'll have to go on either.
No. All right, here comes Aghanim. Aghanim is a cycle-based fight. It has 5 cycles per phase. First shot is definitely an attack that you can reflect back at him to damage him. It has 3 attacks which have a 50% chance of being reflectable or not. And then the last attack is a lightning, and then it continues like that. Based on the way the algorithm works, the most you can get is 15. The average is 3. There's about a 1 in 16 chance of getting 0. There's also fun things like 7 is more common than 6 because of the way it works. If you like statistics, you can learn more about that by running the numbers yourself.
That's amazing. If you like the statistics, do it yourself.
I mean, if you like statistics, then you might as well, right?
No, liking statistics means someone else has to do the numbers.
Well, maybe. There's very little that you can do to optimize the Aghanim fight. You can try to hit him towards the center of the room so that on average his warp distance will be shorter on the next warp. These are very minor things that save frames on average. But if nothing else, it's something to at least occupy yourself with so the fight isn't too painfully boring while you're executing it. I see another super speed. You're going to want to walk diagonal on wide stairs because that increases your movement speed pretty significantly. That's why doing super speeds on stairs like that save a lot more time than you'd think.
Yeah, that's not frames, that's seconds, whole seconds.
Yeah. And yes, to respond to that question, the blue ball RNG is seeded. So people playing on the same seed will get the same fight. Catfish, let us shatter one more dream.
Might as well. Catfish has shattered a lot of dreams in this tournament, hasn't he?
Yeah, Catfish I think has a fairly high chance of having a good item. I mean, it's not like super high, but it's like under 20%, but more than a lot of other fringe locations. It's like Gazelle's just running a few errands before getting that hook shot, rolling out a few other locations. Since that hook shot's going to open up a good amount of stuff by itself.
Absolutely. Checking here. So Hookshot does open up all of East Death Mountain, Dark Death Mountain. I mean, there's a lot of chests up there that they can Gazelle will be able to get. But that also opens Tower of Hera, which is our second of the 3 pendant dungeons that are completable. I think at this point in time, I'd be a little bit worried, and I'm going to check what's on this pedestal.
Yeah, you know, they do have the book, and she is in the area. Maybe she'll do it for the fans. Although, well, Skull Woods was a pendant as well, wasn't it? No, that was a crystal. No. That's right. It was one of 5 and 6. Yeah. So yeah, most people would want to wait until they can combine it with Skull Woods, unless you're getting like really concerned.
Well, that fire rod could definitely be on there. So.
Oh yeah. Still, Death Mountain, Light and Dark World Death Mountain are open. Just way too lucrative to put off. Without the mirror, you do have to route this a particular way. And if she wants to go to the Tower of Hera, the routing changes even more. You kind of climb up and do the 2 very lucrative rooms. Then you go to the Tower of Hera. And you come back, jump down to do Spiral Cave to go down to the bottom to get into the Dark World, and then climb back up in the Dark World. Or some, convoluted thing like that. But we'll see what happens.
Meanwhile, Walkingeye made an early... he is sequence breaking to get into Ice Palace here. He does not have the flippers yet. We'll see if it ends up paying off for him. Interesting play, though.
Yeah. Some people like to put off Ice Palace, by any means necessary. But a lot of good items are found here all the time. Some people like to go early just because they have a hunch. And being a crystal dungeon, it's going to have to finish it at some point anyway.
You can have all the hunches in the world, but Fighter Sword, Green Mail, Ice Palace will never happen for me.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't even have the Fire Rod to help with Cold Stare. That will be a rough fight.
Meanwhile,
wow, look at that Mold Orm.
It is trolling Gazelle.
Wow.
But at this point, I think Walkingeye does think that he's behind, and in fact he is, finding that, running out of locations and then finding that chain to get his Titansmiths. I think he thinks he has to make some pretty risky plays at this point in time.
Yeah. Anytime you're like completely stumped, even for a very short amount of time, you have to think that your opponent, wasn't, or had the potential to not be, at the very least. But I think something important definitely might be in Ice Palace.
Something definitely might be here.
Yeah. Bomb strats for these penguins. Accidentally picked one up when he was trying to bonk, but still killed all of them.
Gazelle checking over here with the book. Can't actually get it, so saving a little bit of time, actually, because won't have to go through that animation.
Yeah. It's a little faster. Yeah, I think that she's going to go with the route that I described a little bit confusingly earlier to search the mountain. Oh wow, and there's the flippers, which would logically open up Ice Palace. And she hasn't gone to Zora yet either, so if she does choose to do that, or has she?
I don't think she has, because she did not sequence break. It's worth noting that Gazelle actually has not done any sequence breaks, dark rooms or anything like that, I don't think.
Nice. I know some players don't like to, for whatever reason, but if it can help you in a race, I mean, you might as well. There's no rule against it. Well, I really, I would have been disappointed if she stayed and quit there, with all that's still around this area. But yeah, she'll be able to get half magic when she's at Zora. That's kind of noteworthy.
That's kind of important there, I think.
Oh, wow. Okay, she has 1 heart, but luckily the highlighted bottle in the menu shows a fairy, so don't have to wonder whether there's one in there or not.
So I think if I'm Gazelle, the absolute last thing I want to find if I'm going through this Death Mountain run and the Dark Death Mountain and Hookshot Cave that she's about to start is the cane. Because the cane opens up Mire, and that would be access to all 3 pendant dungeons. And that might point us towards a pedestal seed.
Yeah. Of course, if it's going to be a pedestal seed, you want to know, or at least have a very strong suspicion as early as possible.
True. Right now, we are down to 2 main items that could possibly be on the pedestal. Shovel, of course, is always one at this point in time if you don't have it already. But bow and fire rod could be pedestal locked. So there could be some significant hype for that.
Oh, yeah. All right, we're going to see the unimportant Turtle Rock Medallion. Unimportant, of course, because they already have all 3 of them.
And there's the mirror in Ice
wow.
Palace.
Wow, that's really good. Definitely happy to find that. The mirror is it's usually required. It's not always required, but if Swamp Palace is a crystal dungeon, then you know automatically that it is going to be required. Walkingeye did a bomb jump across so that he could bomb this crack and fall down. If you have the hook shot, you can actually hook shot through the blocks from the right side to get to it. Oh wow, and there's the Canis Maria.
There's the
there
cane.
Ice Palace goes again with the multiple good items.
So Gazelle not finding a whole lot in Dark World so far. She still has Super Bunny Cave, but could be pointing her towards Ice Palace because she does have the flippers and it's no longer a sequence break.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we might even see like a combination of the whole Zoro's domain area and Ice Palace. So you can take a whirlpool right between those 2 locations.
And Walkingeye going to do one of the worst fights you could possibly do in the game. Cold Stare with no magic and Fighter Sword.
Yeah, well, even with magic, I mean, he could put on the Cane of Burna, but then he wouldn't be able to charge spins, and slashes with the Fighter Sword don't work. This is just going to be a scary fight. It's going to be hammer only. Those puffs are doing 4 damage to Green Mail. The ice only does 2 hearts, but that's still damage you don't want to take. And of course, the hammer just is not the best weapon. I mean, it's just tough to use. I hate this fight personally. I ran swordless a little bit and had to do this fight. I had to come in here with a fairy, which obviously was not optimal. And then you watch Andy do it so fast. Yeah, unfortunately, he wasn't able to get through it. Well, he does have a fairy, so I'm speaking
going
too soon. He also has that bee from earlier. Yeah, this is... Does he have anything else to help him? Oh, another blue potion.
That's nice. Meanwhile, Gazelle finding blue mail up on Death Mountain and then red mail at the hobo. So,
oh wow.
So when Gazelle does this, it'll be a whole lot easier.
Yeah. Won't be any easier to deal any damage unless you find something else that can hurt these guys, but she'll be taking a lot less damage. Well, 1 down, 2 more to go. Can't get touched by the puff even 1 more time. There are some tricks you can do here. If you stand at the top of the room, when the ice falls, it won't split. It'll just land and sort of dissolve. So some players like to stay at the top and bait those shots. But that doesn't really help too much. 2 down. I don't know how much health this last one has.
Oh no.
He's very careful.
Down to 1 heart.
This is actually a really impressive end to this fight, just considering how fast he lost hearts at the beginning. He's able to finish this. Oh, wow.
There it is.
Wow. That was pretty intense.
Well done, Walkingeye.
Well, that's 1 more crystal. Second crystal for him, over an hour in.
Wow, this seed has just kind of led our runners all over the place, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah. There's that half magic.
So Walkingeye,
come in handy.
Between getting the mirror and the cane of Samaria, will immediately go over to Meyer, which is a green pendant, but he suspects might have something here.
Yeah, he may go into the dungeon and then he'll be able to check out the checkerboard cave, which is a location we have not seen yet. I think Gazelle is doing Ice Palace. Doing those swim pumps, the ACMLM special.
I still don't know how ACMLM does that fast. He's just amazing at it.
Yeah, he really seems to gain speed. I did a reverse boss order Taz, a tool-assisted speed run a while ago, and I discovered that there's a way you can do frame-perfect pumping when swimming to gain an obscene amount of speed. And I pretty much, after I figured that out, I told people it's not something you can do in real time. Don't try to save time with swim pumping. But ACM tried anyway, and yeah, it seems to work. So I gave a little bad advice, I think, to a few people.
I support you giving bad advice to people. It means that the rest of our races are better.
Maybe. Yeah, so we'll see Gazelle getting a couple important items here. Gonna try to use bombs to kill. Do I have to kill all of them? Oh, wow. Another really good bomb strat.
Gazelle's bomb strat practice really paying off for her.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, she'll be happy with what she finds in this dungeon. Walkingeye. We don't know, but I have a feeling that something else is going to be here. Just because they need a few more things. The Cane of Samaria, no fire rod. Turtle Rock, at least part of it is opened up. Depending on the layout of the chests, without the fire rod, you may only be able to check a very small amount. Or you may be able to check nearly all of it if the keys happen to land just right.
The problem is, if for the keys to land just right, it then points that those other two chests that you skipped have pretty important items in it.
Yeah. Yeah, not something you... I mean, going into Turtle Rock without the ice rod in some situations is fine. Going in without the fire rod is usually a much less appealing choice. As a reminder, only has 2 items in it. 2 non-dungeon items, I guess I should say.
Yep, and we already know one of them is at least the cape, which will finally allow Walkingeye to do his Aghanim fight, and over an hour in Aghanim in order to unlock that hook shot.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't have like a lot of the typical troll things here. I mean, Aghanim being required is for sure, but we don't know pedestals required. We don't really know if all the pendant dungeons are required. But it's, I mean, they've done so little, it feels like, in over an hour, just because of how the seed is treated.
Yeah, that Spike Cave to powder to boots to get the Titan's mitts, and the boots unlock mushroom as well. I mean, this seed has absolutely run these two all over the place. So they don't have a whole lot of progress, but I think they both know that the other person doesn't have a lot of progress either.
Yeah.
And to top it all off, to make this seed even trollier, keep in mind that these two runners are both 2 and 3. They are fighting for their tournament lives here because they will not be able to. You have to be at least 3 and 3 to get into the massive 32-man race off this Saturday. So
Yeah, a lot on the line here. Yeah, this is of course the final round of the Swiss stage of this tournament. It's a 3-stage tournament. After this, I believe, is round robin groups and then the bracket stage. Walkingeye is going to be able to route Death Mountain maybe a little more efficiently because he does have the mirror before coming up here. And I believe one item was left behind in the Tower of Hera, but it was locked behind a fire source requirement, which he does not have.
oh no, and one other thing, when Walkingeye came up here, he came up here using the mirror routing. He didn't stop. He hasn't done Aga yet to get the hook shot unlocked, which means he's not going to be able to do hook shot cave. He's going to have to come up here a second time at some point.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Okay, so I take back what I said about it being more efficient.
Gazelle, meanwhile, getting ready to start her attempt at Fighter Sword Cold Stare, but with red mail instead, so it'll be a little bit easier on her.
It's still a tough fight. Looks like she's going to try to do the hammer predominantly. Good first hit on all three. Timing that first hit is really important and really difficult. I think she has at least one fairy and at least one blue potion.
She has gotten all 4 bottles, or both these runners have gotten all 4 bottles. So, yeah, she's hammering away here.
Oh, yeah. Probably knows she has the fairy, so she's not even trying to play it safe. Just getting as much damage as possible. Once the fairy revives you, you do have a period of invulnerability, and you can use that time to be even more aggressive without even having to worry about taking damage at all. Wow, she missed a lot of hammers but wasn't getting hit somehow. I get nervous when I see this fight. Brings back painful memories. And there it is.
All
Last
3.
puff had one left. All right, and that will be her second crystal. An hour and 12 minutes in. Where to next?
My goodness. So, Eastern Palace and Pod are both locked behind bow, so you don't necessarily want to do any of those. We got Skullwood, which is locked behind Fire Rod, which you don't have. We have Turtle Rock, which is locked behind Fire Rod, which you don't have.
Yeah. Seems like the only good option, now that she's already headed in that direction, is Swamp.
Yep, Swamp does have a lot of items in it, and they're hoping for either the bow or the Fire Rod. If not, again, all of these locations in for all the pendant dungeons are open. We may see a pedestal check here before too long.
Yeah.
I'm hyped for pedestal. I mean, I've been hoping for a pedestal seed for a long time, and Aga required pedestal seed for an elimination match. Mwah, just magnifique.
Yeah, still a respectable chance that could be the case.
Oh no, Walkingeye hammered the pegs wrong.
Wow.
That's nerves getting to Walkingeye there, I think.
Yeah, probably. To be honest, this hammer puzzle, it's a trial and error puzzle. I don't think there's any hint about it in the whole game. It's kind of a lame puzzle, isn't it? In the original game design. If they were maybe the same positions as the order that you get the pendants in the light world, maybe that would be kind of a cool subtle hint. There's nothing even like that. Now, a while ago, I recommended that we randomize the Order of the Pig puzzle. So every time you do it, you get to feel that trial and error pain. like in the original design.
Who would recommend that, and who do I need to like send nasty grams to? Because no.
No, that was me, and I recommended it several months ago, maybe a year or more ago. And yeah, the general consensus was maybe not just yet. Maybe a custom setting or something. Walkingeye checking the one chest that he can in the hookshot cave without the hookshot. The logic does allow the hookshot to be there. You can get there just by doing dash bonks. Very uncommon for the hookshot to be there.
But he knows where the hookshot is. He made that check.
That's
unless
true.
he forgot.
No, he does know. He just can't get to it yet. Yeah, he probably wasn't expecting the hookshot, but there of course was the possibility that a prerequisite for the hookshot, like the lamp, could have been there. I've heard people talk about wanting to learn Dark Aghanim's Tower just for that very rare case where it actually might be worthwhile. And in his position right now is one of those very rare cases where he might actually go for it if he had any comfort doing it. But yeah, it's ridiculous.
Nope, looks like he's going to be heading over here because I believe it's the Peg Cave that does indeed have it, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep, I don't think he's done anything in that area yet, except the powder quest. But with the mirror, he will be able to do this a little more efficiently. The untruth I said about the mountain, I believe, holds true here.
It's true.
Okay, good. Not forgetting anything this time.
Meanwhile, Gazelle did end up skipping the left half of Swamp, so she'll have to end up making a second dive there, I believe, based on where all the items have been so far.
Yeah. Yeah, it does take a lot of time to get there, and the odds that you're going to be able to skip it is pretty small. But on that very rare case where you are able to skip those, it is a pretty good time save. All right, there's the lamp for Walkingeye.
Oh, and we're going to have double hookshot strats from Gazelle. We're trying to.
Yeah, depending on the positioning, sometimes it's worthwhile to go for. Sometimes it's not.
So we're at the menu fight here with Fighter Sword Argus. She is opting, instead of doing any sort of spins, is instead going to be switching over to the hammer every time. So it's pretty easy to do. It's just tedious as heck.
Yeah, I'd rather do the spins, personally. Yeah, the Fighter Sword does not do damage to several Dark World bosses with a regular attack. You have to do a spin attack. So to kill these puffs, what you do is you charge your sword, and then you pull them towards you and release the sword. And because there's no knockback when you hit the puffs, the spin is able to hit them twice and kill them with just a single spin attack. Or you can use a single hammer on each one. Ooh, it takes 4 Ice Rod hits to kill him in the second phase. And there's a kind of a delay on his iframes, or he doesn't really get them when you hit him with the fire or the Ice Rod. So you can chain attacks and try to get more than one hit per cycle. Only getting 1 double and 2 singles. Still faster than using the Fighter Sword, and I'd say more swag than using the hammer. But of course, that's subjective.
No, I think that's objectively swaggier.
Anytime you can use the Ice Rod to kill something, it's a good choice.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, Walkingeye is taking Gary's lunchbox back to him as Gazelle goes back into those chests that she skipped.
It looks like Gary brought lunch money instead of packing a lunch today.
Walkingeye going to check Bombos, which we haven't checked yet. There could be something important here.
They could be tracking down a sword. Just a lot of rupees.
A lot of rupees.
All right, with that lamp, Walkingeye, I just wanted to finish up the last few things in the area where he was already searching before making his way to Aghanim, but that is definitely the next play for him.
Hour 20 Aghanim. This seed certainly has trolled these runners. It took a long time to find that lamp to be able to unlock it.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, it's worth noting that the fighter sword can't actually reach that switch from the other side of that little half wall. So you have to find some other creative solution to hit it.
And she's using the bloomerang.
Yeah, good use of that item. Walkingeye's trying to use the hammer on these guys. Having a little more luck than Gezel did earlier.
Yeah, Gesell had a little bit of difficulty there, but Walkingeye making up a little bit of time. Not a ton, though. We'll see. What does Gesell find up in these two chests?
Yeah, definitely still a chance for something good.
Well, I don't think she's found the big key yet either, so gonna have to go back and get the big chest.
Well, there it is.
I'm hoping for nothing.
Oh, well, that's nothing. And she has all the dungeon items. I think she was just quickly checking her menu to confirm that, which means there is still one more potential item at the big chest.
The pedestal dream is still alive. It could be bow or fire rod, and really, if nothing's at this big chest but for Gesell, I think you check it, because that could point you to where we need to go from here on out.
Yeah. It's so far out of the way, but you really have to know as early as possible.
And it's bombs, so she's gonna have to make a play.
Yeah, there's a couple plays still. I guess we'll check bombos first. It could be Turtle Rock, could be Green Pendant.
I think we saw Walkingeye go up and check that, and
oh, did he?
Turtle Rock, yeah.
Well, could be the Green Pendant, I guess. What's it gonna be? Oh, you know what? She hasn't been to Palace of Darkness yet. Yeah, of course, there is a possibility that it is bow locked right at the start. We already know that it's not, but she doesn't know that yet. So she'll check it out with the hammer and the lamp. She'll be able to check just about everything.
I'm starting to get hyped. I'm really starting to get hyped here. I've been disappointed so many times. I don't know if I could love again, but I think I might here.
Isn't Aghanim required enough?
No, I'm greedy.
No, I understand. All right, Walkingeye going into Aghanim. Going to get the exact same amount of blue balls, unless somehow he misses a shot, which only happens if you're kind of messing around, because the fight's so boring. One fun thing you can do in this fight is throw a boomerang diagonally at one of those diagonal walls, and sometimes it'll go through the wall. That's pretty exciting, right? You don't have to lie. You can say it's not.
I was going to say, isn't that a wall clip where you get DQ'd for it?
Technically, it is. Actually, I wrote the glitch rules document a long time ago, and I think that based on the way I worded it, that wouldn't qualify as a major glitch, but I'm not sure. All right, nice and easy Aghanim fight.
So Walking Dead now going to go collect his hook shot over here. Maybe we'll see a ped check while he's up here. I certainly hope so.
Oh man, we may just see it. That could be some very valuable intel for him.
And we know that Walkingeye as he's done throughout this entire race, he's always gone for the knowledge first. Early map checks, checking the lumberjack ledge early. That's just the type of runner he is, so not surprised by this at all.
Yeah, this is the turning point, I guess, of this race, potentially.
Drum roll. Pocket change. Oh my god.
Oh, that's too bad. But that does open up that question. Where are those last items? Where could they be?
Okay, so yeah, I have no idea.
Okay, is Agony required and Green Pendant required? A good enough trade-off for no pedestal.
If I have to compromise, I suppose.
All right.
Yeah, and Misery Mire is in play. They have everything they need to complete it.
Yeah, and there's like that one item at Hera still.
And they have a fire source, so they can check it.
Oh, you see some super speed in Eastern Palace, taking the long way around because of a little interference. Not a lot of opportunities to use super speed inside of dungeons, but that's one of the best places to do it. And now the Walkingeye has his hook shot. Looks like he's going to be making the swamp play next.
And it's the logical play, because once you have it set up, there are 6 items that are in swamp. So it's logical, and I know a lot of players like to do it.
Yep. I think Walkingeye just wanted to remind the viewers why the required for Swamp Palace, showing us that room is not passable until you do this part.
See, we appreciate Walkingeye also shares knowledge with everyone. So thank you. Gazelle looks like she's heading up, going to check maybe that Hera basement?
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes we do see one fire source locked behind the other. We may see that here. Some big use of a variation of the super speed glitch there, where if you're able to hold your sword out, you gain speed while traveling on stairs. It does save a little bit of time. On the big stairs, you charge your sword, and the time it takes for it to spin, kind of tips the balance, but it's still a time save overall. On the short stairs, you want to not even let your sword charge if you want to save time with it. Cool strategy, though. Oh, couldn't do the boom dash. Oh, she tries again. One more time. There we go. I love that strat.
That's impressive. I like that. I'm going to steal it.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. There's another boom dash you can do in this room. There's a couple variations of it. Let's see if she'll try one. Oh, yeah. Yeah, didn't stop on the pegs for the invulnerability, but still got the pegs up on the and standing on the opposite side. And that's where the real time save comes from, is not having to hit the switch in the following room.
So it's either going to be here in Hera basement, or I feel like Mire has to be the next play, doesn't it?
I think so. I really like that tile room because it builds up so much tension while we're waiting to see what this item is. Oh, and it's the big key.
Big key. Oh my god.
All right, more suspense.
Can you imagine? We're sitting at an hour 30 now for this particular run. We're still at Fighter Sword, Fisher Price Shield. Only 3 crystals have been gotten by Gazelle, who's leading.
Yeah.
This is just one of those seeds.
Oh yeah, this is an endurance test. Another
Chad,
dungeon.
Yep,
She's gonna do the fast bomb jump here for the style, if for no other reason. Oh wow. Yeah, she had to make a very small adjustment there because she wasn't on a good pixel when she opened the menu. Nice job. Leaving without killing the guy though.
I think that was both
About
items.
pedestal possibility.
Yeah, she has not checked pedestal, so she's taken that gamble on her end as well.
Yep. But it looks like she's going to be getting at least one pendant. The one that matters.
Of course, checking Meyer, the checkerboard cave, has not done that yet.
Yep. Surprised she didn't pick that up with how much she likes using bombs. I guess 28 is enough. Oh, not actually doing Meyer.
Huh, where else can she... Oh, she's going to check pedestal real quick.
Okay. She wants the intel now.
Before committing to Meyer Fighter Sword, yeah, I think I might want that intel too.
She's used a lot of minor glitches like item dashes and super speeds and stuff. But like you said earlier, none of the ones that actually do allow for sequence breaking.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. I know, me personally, I have a difficult time doing a lot of the sequence break sorts of things as well. So seeing one of the top runners in the tournament actively avoid sequence breaking and still succeeding definitely boosts my confidence in the strategies that I make as well. So
yeah, and it's easy to keep track of what the logic, where you are in relation to the logic when you don't sequence break. Because sometimes when you do, you have to think, okay, I have these items, but I shouldn't have these items, which means that I shouldn't have had to go to the next place because of whatever. And it gets really complex really quickly. So it definitely helps with the routing in that regard.
Yep. So we see Gazelle end up heading into the Dark World, see where she ends up going from here.
Well, she hasn't made a pass through the north side. Well, that's not where she's going. Oh, maybe it is. Since she's had the mirror, she hasn't headed that way.
Graveyard Ledge, I guess. We could also do the South Grove Ledge.
Mm-hmm. Quite far from each other.
Far, but two often overlooked locations that can yield some interesting results, especially when we're down to nothing here.
Yeah, and when the mirror comes pretty late, after you've already checked a few other things in those areas, like the Bonk Rocks have been checked and the Kingstone have been checked, the Stump Kit has been checked, so yeah, the efficiency isn't really there. We're going to see the opposite strat from Walkingeye. Nice to see both options. One hammer strat, one spin strat.
Absolutely. So it's interesting to note, Gazelle has been ahead for most of this race. Walkingeye has made up a lot of time while Gazelle is looking for some of these other items.
Yeah, that's often how it goes when there's a few items that troll till the end. Both players pretty much have to check all the same locations. One player finds better items earlier, seems to get a lead, but then the lead kind of shrinks as those last few items troll as hard as they can.
And man, we're getting double trolled here. Both the bow and fire rod. Can't clear Eastern Palace or Pod without the bow. Can't clear Skull Woods or Turtle Rock without the fire rod at this point in time. So, man.
Oh, nice. Walkingeye is also going to use all spins here. With this sword, I believe it's 8 spins. Nice, easy, and safe, but it does take a while. Gazelle is about to be 20 rupees richer.
robbing a man of his lunch money.
Yeah. And what's it gonna be? Is it gonna be Turtle Rock for her?
Looks like the Turtle Rock play is going to happen. Going to avoid Meyer at this point in time, although it's clearable and certainly within logic for that green pendant. Fighter Sword probably is intimidating.
Yeah. I mean, potentially Turtle Rock could have more items available than that, just depending on how the keys land. But it could potentially have less. And yeah, we might actually see the green pendant from Walkingeye. So
Yeah,
these are
so
like the two remaining things that we want to see.
Walkingeye has already cleared this place out, so he'll be able to kind of work his way pretty quickly to the boss. Meanwhile, Gazelle going to be doing T-Rock for the first time.
Yep. She did open the dungeon earlier after using this portal to get to the Dark World.
One thing to note. I was going to say one thing to note. Gazelle did go do Zora, and half magic was on the Zora ledge, so Gazelle might have a little bit easier time getting through this T-Rock and some of these other magic intense dungeons, and both of them really require quite a bit of magic.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, especially when you don't have a strong sword, you have to use more magic, potentially more magic, on Trinex or other boss fights. Like, for example, Ganon, if they end up not finding 2 more swords and only find 1 more by the time they get there. Ooh, Ice Rod on Pokies. Not the best choice, in my opinion. Doesn't quite work as well as the Fire Rod.
No, but man, Pokies are... Oh, this is... Ew.
Yeah, they're tanky. She does have the red mail, which splits their damage quite significantly. Going for the Brahmin Meat Block Blast and actually doing it very well.
That was about textbook there.
Yeah, that was really good. The fastest way to do it involves blasting the block while it's still in midair. Some players will let it hit the wall and then land and then blast it. That's a much easier variation of it. We call that the Christos Block Blast. And then there's a Scrivo Block Blast where you place the block and then dash it instead of doing the item dash. But we kind of think of that one as an off-brand version, so we call it like the Blickblorst or some funny name like that.
You guys have such original and funny names for all these things that I just go, oh, that's cool looking.
Yeah, this game has been researched and studied and optimized for so long by so many people. Randomizer, however, is still practically an infant by comparison. Still a lot of new stuff happening there, a lot of new ideas and unknowns.
Oh boy!
Ooh, that was a fire rod. Ooh, wow! At this point, do you go back to the beginning of this dungeon to check those 2 chests, or do you finish it first?
I think since you're right here, you go ahead and do it.
Yeah, I think you keep going forward. You're gonna get warped back to the entrance anyway after you kill Trinex. But you definitely go back in for those 2 after.
That doesn't, however, preclude that what Walkingeye is doing is a bad play either. I mean, we could still see Bo here.
Yeah, for sure. Oh wow, with that fire rod, those Pokies go down so much easier, don't they?
About 30 seconds or 2 seconds. I mean, yeah. Interesting that she's not opting for Bo. Or checking Mimic Cave.
Missed the big key. Oh, yeah, right. The big key was in those one of those first 2 chests. So she is actually going to have to go back there. Remembered Mimic Cave, though, in time.
That would have been disastrous if she would have gotten all the way to Trinex and realized, oops, no big key. Oh, I guess the door right there will locks her out anyway.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Luckily, you get stopped earlier. All right. Unfortunately, she can't go back in and mirror back to the first entrance. It's not a terribly long backtrack. Walkingeye made his way to Vitreous. Gonna use the cape.
Oh my god.
I don't know if he has any more bottle stock. This is a long fight with spins with the fighter sword. I'd have to check to remember exactly, but it might be 16 spins per small eye. It's quite a lot total.
Yeah, this is gonna be rough on Walkingeye. I know chat was talking earlier on bomb strats, which may be the preferred way.
Oh yeah, that actually would be a good idea with how many he has. A good way to soften up a lot of them. Yeah, he was getting kind of roughed up in that corner there. That's unfortunate. Do you think he'll go right back in and try again? Or, I mean, you can get back to the entrance of Misery Mire pretty quickly if you leave. So picking up a couple potions, just to extend the use of that cape, might be an okay idea.
He's got plenty of money. Might as well get a couple of them.
Yeah. Yeah, he's gonna go right back in and try again.
That's conviction there.
To answer a laser trap. No, I have no idea which is which. One of these chests is going to be the big key, and one is going to be some rupees.
Big $50.
Oh, it looked like Walkingeye still had a chest to collect in Misery Mire.
And Gazelle pulls the shovel from the big chest.
Oh wow. Well, I'd probably be doing that immediately after finishing this dungeon.
If the bow isn't on Laser Bridge, then absolutely.
Yeah.
The bow is officially our final troll item, although Fire Rod was pretty trolly being where it was as well.
Yeah, Fire Rod and Turtle Rock is just, like I said earlier, you just don't want to come in here without the Fire Rod if you can really avoid it. But I mean, if it's this or like finish Mire for a green pendant for Sahasrahla, like it's such a tough call.
Walkingeye making good use of the bug net and powder.
Finally a sword upgrade. You see her do these fancy dash strats here, even dashing out. Okay, that's actually really, really fancy. Not a lot of people know how to do that. You gotta walk down to bait the shot from the eye and then walk back up a little bit, but not too far, and then start the dash in order to get out.
And full of confidence, not taking the safety exit right there in case she ends up taking a loss. So,
yeah, I think she still does have some bottled safeties. With the upgraded sword, doesn't help too much on Trinex if you're planning to use the hammer anyway. But it might just give a little more confidence. All right, backdoor Trinex with a hammer. Can be a little bit precise to get in here and get this strategy started, but once you're able to do it, it actually is a little bit easier than having to do the dance from the front side. With all the magic, just going crazy on that second head. Didn't even worry about switching to the hammer. So try to get a double spin on the first hit here, and then we'll see. Probably switch to the hammer for the remaining several hits. I think it's 3 additional hits with the hammer. Maybe. No, it's more. Walkingeye is doing his second try at Vitreous now, while Gazelle finishes up Trinex. A lot more hearts going into it this time.
And there's the bow.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So-
Man, that's annoying.
So this Mire dive is officially going to not help Walkingeye at all, and he's taken a lot of time on this.
Yeah, that's
He
really
went
a
into
shame.
Turtle Rock earlier too, and then just backed out of it for whatever reason.
Yeah, that's really too bad. I mean, especially having to die at Vitreous and then come all the way back, hoping that it's something. His hope isn't dead yet.
So Gesellschaft is officially in go mode, and really just has to do Pod and Eastern and Skullwoods. So she'll go out of her way, do Skullwoods right now, then route the two together, and
Yeah.
she's on her way.
Yeah, finally got the go mode item at hour 45 with 3 dungeons remaining. Walkingeye, unfortunately, was not able to. Oh, he did catch a fairy. Okay, yeah, he had powder in the bottle. Or I'm sorry, in the net. I wasn't paying close enough attention to his play in Mire earlier. He could have bottled a couple of those. Hopefully he did.
I believe he did bottle at least 2 of them, just because they were so prevalent there outside the normal boss door.
Yeah, you're able to get a few along the way to this boss in this dungeon without even having to go out of your way. Yeah, he stocked up all the way, according to chat. All 4, okay. That way he can have some fun trying to use the hammer here. Takes a lot of hits. Ooh, Gesell getting wall mastered.
Ooh.
Should be extra aggressive right after the fairy hill when you still have invulnerability frames. Yeah, I think he'll get through this. It's a slow fight. It's kind of fun, although when there's like a lot on the line if you die, the fun kind of turns into something else.
Stress. Mostly just stress.
Yeah, exactly.
Walkingeye still with green mail as well.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. I mean, he wasn't able to check, I guess it was Hookshot Cave that had the 1 armor upgrade and never went to the hobo.
Yeah, and this is not the first tough fight that we've seen Walkingeye do. He's also had to pick up... Oh, and there's another sword upgrade.
Oh, wow, okay. So that's 1 less that Gesell might get before Ganon. Hey, he got through the fight, though. Yeah, I mean, took a couple tries and a lot of stress, but he was able to get through, get that pendant. Oh, man, and he is hoping that pendant has something.
It's going to have another sword upgrade.
It could. All right, Mothiel is down. Took a lot of magic. And a lot of work with that sword. Eventually he died.
Yep. So Gesell will be kind of high-fiving Walkingeye as he leaves the area.
Yeah. All right. What is this going to be? I mean, the sword is the best thing it could be, really. Yeah, just some bombs.
And he's wondering, what am I missing?
Yeah. Honestly, just the way the seed is played out, just by its design, this has got to have been really uncomfortable for both of them. I mean, I can't imagine either of them are feeling very good about their position.
Nope, and Walkingeye going up to Turtle Rock. Remember, Walkingeye did dive earlier into Turtle Rock and then dipped out pretty early.
Yeah, but what else can you do? I mean, actually, he does have a Hookshot Cave still remaining. So check that along the way, probably. Find, I guess, an armor upgrade, if my memory is correct, before Turtle Rock, which will be helpful for that. Oh yeah, and he could do the Tower of Terror basement, as I am reminded by our attentive chatters. Yeah, in fact, that is what he's doing. Gesell just needs to go straight to the boss here. Or, yeah, that's all she has to do, right? Yeah.
Yep. She has enough keys she can get through. She's just going to make quick work.
Yep, with those silver arrows especially. Gonna make mimics easier. Gonna make Helmasaur a little easier. Oh, is she missing the big key again? Oh wow, I didn't check when she opened the menu.
Oh no.
Yeah, that could have been bow blocked. Oh wow, that's unfortunate. A couple more rooms before she's gonna get stopped.
Oh, and if she paid attention to her menu.
Yeah, she's in that go mode mindset. Not thinking about anything except finishing the dungeon, just getting to the end.
Not that I blame her at all.
Oh yeah, I mean, I forgot too in this, and I'm just watching, I'm not even playing.
I think at this point, at an hour 50, the stress is kind of on. You don't see a dot done yet, so you know the seed has trolled both you and the opponent. But what do you do?
Yeah, you just gotta play your game and hope for the best. Try not to make oh man, I think she might have noticed.
Oh, that rage.
Oh man. Yeah, it's gonna be along this east side. There's chests which are blocked by the bow, which she would not have been able to check earlier. Walkingeye has to rule out just a few more locations before he gets to Turtle Rock. Gets the last couple items that he needs.
We've seen Walkingeye with the frustration slashes here today too, so I really, my heart goes out to him. If he would have continued on Turtle Rock, it would have been a completely different race right now.
Yeah, definitely. Wait, did she still not find it? Was there any more locations left to check?
Yeah, she didn't. When she originally did Pod, the way she ended up doing it was just up to the bow locked options.
Oh, okay. Right. Since there were so few items remaining, the bow being one of them. Yeah, I mean, again, not sequence breaking even in the slightest.
Absolutely, that's knowing the logic. She is going to hammer Yump here, though, looks like.
She accidentally threw the hook shot, which kind of burned down the timer a little bit. Oh, just enough time, though. Instinctively trying to open the big chest.
Oh, Walkingeye apparently only opened it. I thought I saw him dive into it, but my eyes must have been deceiving me.
That's all right. Well, there's the big key. No reason to go back and open the big chest. Normally you want to have one small key before you go to the last part of the Palace of Darkness. You almost always do without even having to think about it, just because of how front-loaded keys are. But of course she's already opened the door, so she's fine going forward with 0.
Walkingeye has to be careful. He's at 1.5 hearts, but lots of anti-fairies down here for him to be able to collect.
Yeah.
Evil Kitty Knight asks us in chat, is there a possibility that all items will be collected in this run? Well, we are missing the red boomerang and 2 sword upgrades and at least 1 shield. So there's definitely a possibility that they'll be got, but for example, they're not going to go back and clear Desert or Hera at this point in time, or Meyer.
All right, second try and opening this door. Got it this time. I'm gonna tear this mask up. Not using the sword out strat. This is a little riskier, but does give you better mobility. If you're able to be pretty accurate with your hammers, this actually can make the fight a little bit easier because you can dodge the fireballs more effectively without your sword out.
Perfect timing.
Yeah. On Walkingeye, yeah, he must have realized he was missing the big key and immediately mirrored out after getting fire on.
Yep. So we're going to see some frustration, I think, out of Walkingeye here, too, once he gets the bow drop from Trinex. All the value, early Turtle Rock dive. I mean, as early as you can get anyway. Fire Rod being buried in Turtle Rock just really played a loop for these two runners.
Yeah, about as wild as a sea could be without requiring the pedestal.
It was an AGA required seed because Hookshot was there, so couldn't do any early dives into, for example, Swamp Palace, where a lot of items could normally be.
All right, so does she have the big key in this dungeon? I think the answer is yes.
Yeah, I think she's been all the way through here, so here we go.
Yeah, this one is go mode for real. The last dungeon is the only one that's really being go moded.
And a quick programming note, the 7 p.m. Eastern match between Killer App 23 and Parisian Player here on Speed Gaming will be delayed until this match is over. So stay tuned. There's still rando after this, I promise you. Just waiting until this one's done.
Okay. Yeah, we'll let this one finish out. I mean, it was just an exhausting seed, this one. Well, we're going to see the Armos Knights taken down with silver arrows. There's a few different ways to go about this. Really, you don't have to have a good strategy because they're just so strong. You really can improvise. But let's see if there's any particular strategy employed here.
I think the strategy she's going to employ is going to be shooting them in the face.
Yes. That's a pretty effective strategy, it seems. All right, do you want to do the Ganon's Tower game speech?
Absolutely, I appreciate you asking. So, ladies, gentlemen, and other non-binary folk in chat, we have a wonderful game we like to play here at Speed Gaming. There are 22 chests located in Ganon's Tower. The big key to unlock access to Aghanim 2 is only in one of them. Get your guesses in, 1 through 22. Which is it going to be? My good friend, Mr. Super Scudge, which one do you think it's going to be in?
I think it's going to be, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's going to be like number 7. It's going to be, is that Bob's chest if you go right side only? Or is that 8?
Depends on if you count the tile room or not, but that's 1, 2...
Yeah, skip the tile room.
Yeah, that would be 7 if you go right side only.
Okay, that's what we're going to see.
I'm going to guess the firebar room, which if you go left side is 8. But I don't know. We'll see where she ends up going.
Well, I have some intel. I know that she was practicing right side strats, so I'm pretty sure she's going to try either full right side or Dark Magician strat. Obviously, if the big key is in one of the first chests or no small key, full right side won't work. But yeah, we'll have to see about that.
We'll see. That's some good intel. See, you actually watch people before their matches. I just kind of go with their record.
Oh, well, sometimes I have intel like that. Just from, heard it through the grapevine, whatever. Actually, she told me she was going to try to do right side strats. So we might have seen the Dark Magician strat.
I do like the Dark Magician's thread. I've started using it when I run, and it's just fun for whatever reason.
Yeah. Walkingeye just got his third sword, so he does have the sword advantage. All right, anything in this room here? Oh,
another
wow,
sword.
Quite nice. And there's the mirror.
Yep, awesome Dark Magician's strat there. So she does have 5 at this point in time.
Yep. There's a small key, so full right side would work. Doing the Christos Owen signature punt. I think the first time he did that, it might have been like not even really on purpose. I think it might have kind of been on accident, and it worked out. So he started continuing to do it, and a couple of the people adapted as well.
You know, it's safe to say I've been absolutely impressed by Gazelle's execution and just the nuances of a lot of these things.
Yeah.
That time adds up over the course of a race. Between her bomb jumps, her cane dashes, everything like this. It's just been a real treat to watch.
Yeah, for sure. It's really nice to see somebody that's just well practiced. Some people have really good intuition. Some people just improvise and hope for the best. But I like practice. Walkingeye using the Tempered Sword to take down Trinex. She's going to use the hook shot here twice to get through that room as fast as possible. I just came up with that a couple days ago, and she's already proficient at it. Yeah, now Walkingeye is ready to finish up everything. He's probably shaking his head, honestly. All right, here comes the best part, right here. It's a bomb jump.
Of course, it's a bomb jump.
That's awesome.
That's absolutely impressive with no guide whatsoever. What the heck?
I gotta say, I'm happy that she hasn't found the big key yet, just so that we were able to see all of those cool things. Silver arrows on ice Armos, similar strategy to regular Armos. You just want to shoot them in the face.
Nothing fancy. Just shoot them in the face. That's all it takes. No bomb jumps. And there's the big key.
Nice.
So Walkingeye on his way up, he probably is expecting it done at any point in time, just judging from his frustration slashes.
Yeah, and honestly, she might be expecting the same thing as well, just because they're 2 hours in. Silver arrows make quick work of these mimics. Just got to get them in front of you. And again, just shoot them in the face. There is a very cool thing that we could see in this spike pit up here, a bow dash strat. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah,
if the time works out just right. Yeah, you can dash all the way back down. Yeah, that's really good timing. I love that one too.
So another shout out, if you like what you see from these runners,
dash through the whole cannonball room too. All right, Walkingeye. Fighting Mothfield with the Tempered Sword. Do not charge spins because those do no damage with that sword. The gold sword does no damage in the vanilla game, and that's been patched in Randomizer, but spins I think still don't work, even though technically a tempered spin would be the same as the gold sword. Yeah, I think it's clear that that's not doing damage.
Yep.
He must have practiced this fight with the Master Sword or something. One more crystal down for him. Silver arrows on La Mola it's gonna be kind of hard to time, but again, the plan is just to shoot them all in the face and And yeah, it worked.
I think that's the best plan for any boss. Just shoot it in the face and you'll end up doing okay.
Oh yeah. These Wizrobe rooms up here are pretty much what the Cane of Samaria was designed for. Timing the second one a little bit off. Leaving one alive. The worst thing about that is that you don't always wrong because you're usually looking at something else. You're looking at what you're supposed to be doing next, not what you just did. So when it doesn't work, you're kind of left thinking, oh, I don't know what I did wrong. You got to go back and watch the VOD, or just practice it for a few days, for a few years or whatever.
So there was a question in chat a little bit ago. You know, with the execution that we've seen from Gazelle, who actually beat her? And I pulled up the challenge to check, and her 3 losses are to Solsky, Jet082, and Cruel. So she's had an absolutely stacked run through this tournament, and this is just another example of how good this community has gotten so quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know she's a player that's affected a lot by nerves. She said that in the past, and I'm sure she'll say it again today. You know, she feels a lot of stress at the beginning of races and gets a lot more comfortable later on. And I think we kind of saw that too. I mean, Ganon's Tower is like the hardest part of the whole run, but it's the part that she's probably executed the most well. She also opened up the last chest in Ganon's Tower for the fans.
It's all for you, fans.
Comes Aghanim 2. Tough fight to do.
Oh, did she get the triple there?
First cycle was only 2 hits. Good lineup though for the second one. That should be I think 2 of them were overlapped, so only 2 additional ones. Oh wow. Oh man.
Oh, that's too bad.
Even with the blue ball disrupting that, she was still able to get back into position for that hit. 4th cycle, still good. On the 4th cycle, you know that he's not going to give a blue ball, so you're the position where you can stand safely to deflect it back. Well, depending on the RNG, the other factors, but you can use that to your advantage to know that you're going to get a guaranteed hit when there's only 1 hit remaining. Walkingeye finishing up Palace of Darkness pretty soon. He'll have 1 crystal remaining after that. A pretty quick one while Gazelle is in Ganon. Gonna need to do 12 hits in each the first and the second phase with the Tempered Sword, or some combination of slashes and spins equaling the same amount of damage. I think we'll just see 12 dashes from inside the circle here. Oh well, combination of dashes and slashes. Not sure if that was 12, I wasn't counting. Not quite.
Almost. So 1 more phase here.
Yeah. 1 cycle first phase, 2 cycle second phase. Third phase, all you gotta do is hit him 1 time each time he warps. If you hit him fast enough, he does not do the radiating fire bat circle, but he still breaks the floor.
Walkingeye now finished 1 crystal, 1 more to go. Well, Gazelle finishes off this Ganon fight.
Yeah, with the silver arrows, the 4th phase should be pretty easy. So get a single hit here. If she times this well enough, might be possible. Okay, his warp position wasn't great. She'll get a double here, and then a single to finish it. Didn't get the RNG for a triple. Still, you only have to light the torch once. That's ideal. You kind of judge the timing of the fight based relative to torch timing, because that's always consistent. So yeah, good fight there. Good finish. The official time on SRL is going to be a 2 hour, 9 minute, and 55 seconds.
And I think Walkingeye sees, and yep, Types the GG and grats. Walkingeye will go ahead and finish up here, looks like.
Yeah. Yeah, he's gonna make his way through Eastern Palace. He's already partially cleared this dungeon. Already has the big key and everything. Just gotta make his way to the boss. He's gonna make use of the shoot things in the face strategy with the silver arrows probably later in this dungeon.
So programming note as we go through here. Remember, stay tuned. After this, we have Killer App 23 and Parisian Player also doing a matchup here. And I'll pull up their records here.
Love to see Armos Knights explode from silver arrows. Ooh, the top left strat, pretty much the exact opposite of what we saw earlier. Works out about the same though. That's his last crystal though. Nothing left but Ganon's Tower and Ganon. Yeah, sorry, we're just figuring out what we're going to do here because of the scheduling and everything.
Yep, we're going to try to get Gazelle in here for an interview before we switch over to Parisian Player Killer App 23. Note for those two, it's another 2 and 3 elimination match, so exciting night for Rando fans.
Yeah, I'll pull Gazelle in here. Hello, congratulations.
Hello, thank you.
Still shaking a little bit there?
Yeah, I'm sure I will be for like an hour. All I wanted going in was to play my best, and I feel like I executed well. I was trying to not be worried about the outcome, but I was, of course, very nervous the entire time. Like over 2 hours.
Yeah, that was a heck of a seed, wasn't it?
Yeah, the first time I went up to, like, when I went back for Hera Basement, I was going to go to Torok, and I'm like, but I got the mirror, there's probably spots. I didn't want to overcommit, because, like, it's mirror spots. It's not like I can go to the end, mirror out, and then, you know, fly around, check spots, and then go back all in the light world. I'd have to re-get my warp, which is a lot of times. I'm like, oh, Barbie, I'm sorry. Yeah, the first time I went up to...
Well, I was really impressed, honestly, with how you played there. Also, I said earlier, I was happy that the big key was later in Ganon's Tower, so we could see more of those cool right side stats.
I want to say you released all of the speeds that he had.
Yeah, I had in my heart that if certain conditions fell into place, that I would do that route. Spent a little bit practicing it last night. And it was too fun. I hope I can do it. It's really nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I was just absolutely blown away by your execution throughout this entire run. I mean, strats that I've never seen before, pulled off absolutely flawlessly. I was just absolutely impressed.
Thank you.
Yeah, so are you feeling confident going into the wild card race?
I wouldn't say confident, but I feel like I have a chance, but really, like, my ultimate goal for the tournament was to get to the group phase, and then after that, it was whatever. And I seem to have trademark dying in the first 10 minutes of my runs. I seem to, like, forget that one item. So it's only, like, this race in the past, like, 2 that I've felt a lot better about my play. So I'm hoping I can do well, but it's going to be very hectic. There's going to be a lot of really good racers, so it's, like, you know, like the little mistakes that I made here could be the entire thing, or I could get lucky and have made the play, and it's just gonna be very
Right.
chaotic.
Quick
Yeah,
note,
such as-
we are asking to have you turn down your game volume here, Gazelle. We're getting an echo.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, we had a race scheduled to start at 7 before that seed was ended up being so ridiculous. I think we actually have to hurry up and transition, which means I don't think we're going to be able to see Walkingeye finish, but you can head on over to his stream. Anybody who's watching, if you want to watch his finish. Congratulations again on your victory.
Thank you. Real quick, I just want to say I felt like it was like a seed from God or something, because I'm like, I love bomb upgrades and bomb jumps and all that. I'm like, oh, look at all the bomb upgrades. Oh, look at all the bomb upgrades. This is wonderful.
Yeah, and you used them well. You put them to good use. All right. Yeah, I think that's going to be it for us for today. Thanks for joining me, Katasia. My name is Super Scudge, and I think we're going to have to see you later, everybody.
Yep, have a good one. We'll be tuning in for our next race immediately now. Parisian Player versus Killer App 23. I'll still be joining you. I'm going to get a quick break for some water, but I'll be with you guys for the next match as well.